I podcast, therefore I am. Vocal learners, like parrots and humans, are perhaps the only few who fully comprehend the truth of this.
Parrots, big part of our audience. Lots of listeners.
Shouts to all the parrots out there listening right now.
They're the real ones. Welcome to Science Fiction Book Club, a podcast for bookworms and stargazers. In every episode, we dive into the pages of our favorite science fiction novels to break down the big ideas, ask the nerdy questions, and maybe, just maybe, learn a bit about ourselves along the way. I'm your host, Opsa, and with me as always, the unforgettable human, not parrot.
Not parrot.
Not today.
Not today.
Abu.
On Halloween, maybe.
Maybe on Halloween.
I know my next Halloween
Costume.
you know? Oh, man. Opsa, we are here to talk about another short story by Ted Chiang
That's right.
in his excellent short story collection, Exhalation.
Mm-hmm.
Today, as the title states, we're going to be digging into The Great Silence. All the parrot jokes will make sense shortly. But before we get into it, how about we take care of some housekeeping?
That's right. Abu just said it. I don't know if I need to repeat it. Spoiler warning, please read the story.
That's right.
Read it, listen to it, but make sure you're ready for this episode as we're going to be covering its entirety.
That's right. And as always, we encourage you to read along with us and share your thoughts. So email us at sci-fi-book-club-pod@loreparty.com and join our Patreon at patreon.com/sci-fi-book-club-pod. We post free reading guides, discussion questions, as well as bonus clips and bloopers over on that Patreon. And it's also where you can join our Discord to keep these nerdy sci-fi discussions going with all of the fellow readers in our community.
And of course, all those links are in the show notes, so no need to scribble that all down this moment. But with all of that out of the way, here's the overview for today. As usual, we will summarize the chapters from today's readings. Then we'll step into our first impressions, our thoughts, and share our takeaways. And finally, we'll wrap up by diving deep into our sci-fi analysis. With that out the way, let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into today's reading.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite, obey your thirst.
The Who's Down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
Welcome back, folks. Let's start, as always, with a brief summary, a brief refresher of today's reading. So, The Great Silence is a small but profound short story narrated by an endangered Puerto Rican parrot living near the Arecibo radio telescope.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. The parrot narrator, throughout this story, is reflecting on how humans built this incredible piece of technology, this telescope, to listen for extraterrestrial intelligence out among the stars, while remaining hopelessly oblivious to the fact that parrots and other animals possess sophisticated forms of communication and consciousness right here on planet Earth. You don't have to look out into the stars to find what you're looking for. The narrator notes that humans are tragically driving its people, its fellow parrots, to extinction, even as they desperately search for signs of intelligence elsewhere in the universe, when the intelligence is right in front of their eyes.
Yeah.
And so the parrot's thoughts wrap up and the story ends on a really poignant note. The parrot accepts that when its species goes extinct, it will take with it a unique way of being in this world.
Yeah.
A unique voice that will be silenced forever. And it connects that silencing to the term great silence, described in the Fermi paradox. implying that perhaps the Great Silence is not just cosmic, but moral and spiritual, a reflection of humanity's inability to listen to the voices that are already around them.
Oof.
But I loved how the story ends,
Yeah.
because even here in its final moments, as the parrot acknowledges that it is going the way of the dodo, it forgives humanity, and it hopes that humanity can learn to listen to the intelligence and the voices right here on planet Earth before it's too late.
Oof.
What a short
Yeah.
story.
Short but heavy.
All through the thoughts of a parrot.
Yeah.
Really great stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
What did you think, Opsa?
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised anymore, but despite its brevity, this one got me. I will
Yeah.
admit.
Yes.
It's I will admit not my favorite story in the book so far,
Same.
purely on a storytelling level, but the themes really resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought choosing to tell the story from the perspective of a Puerto Rican parrot was a clever way to challenge how we think about intelligence, communication, and what we're actually looking for when we scan the skies for signs of life. And I think what struck me most, and it sounds like it did for you as well, was just kind of the gentleness of the narrator's voice, like the
Yes.
softness there.
Yes.
There's no anger, there's no bitterness, just profound sadness
Yeah.
mixed with affection for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
When the parrot says humans just weren't paying attention, it's a bit of a gut punch.
Yeah.
It feels very viscerally true
It is. Yeah.
because it's also not an accusation, it's almost forgiving, which somehow makes it worse. I mean, here is a parrot that learned to say, "You be good, I love you."
Woo.
But despite that, in the abundance of intelligent beings on our planet, humanity continues to point telescopes at the stars to find signs of life, while simultaneously causing the extinction of that life here.
Yeah.
It's ironic, sad, and I don't know, pretty shameful.
Yeah. Tragic.
So I don't know. I mean, I thought overall very good story and an interesting reflection of our relationship to the other life on our planet. And I'm happy this story was included in the collection.
Yep.
I think
Me too.
an interesting counterpart to some of the others that we encounter in this book.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm curious, how did you overall feel about this one, Abu?
I feel much the same as you.
Yeah.
I too won't go so far as to say this is one of the better stories in this collection. I do think it's one of the weaker ones, but I think it's short. I think it's sweet.
Yeah.
I think it's beautifully written.
Totally.
And its message is clear.
Yeah.
The message is very straightforward, maybe a little bit on the nose.
Yeah.
But I think, as usual, just as you pointed out, Chiang comes up with a unique framing device to
Yes.
deliver that message through the thoughts of this parrot in this instance.
Which is really true of every story in this collection.
Every story
has a really interesting framing device,
Yeah.
and they're all different.
Yeah. I don't think any story in this collection is simply told from like an omniscient narrator's point of view.
Right.
It's all wrapped up in some sort of interesting frame that enhances the story.
I agree.
And I think that is a superpower of Ted's.
Definitely.
I think what stood out to me, actually, more than the message itself, which, I thought powerful message, but sort of delivered quite simply. What stood out to me was the really simple yet poetic writing.
Yes.
Some of the prose really struck me.
I agree. Yeah.
And some of the passages will kind of haunt me for a while. There's one I wanted to share in particular. So here's this section about aspirations. Quote, "It's no coincidence that aspiration means both hope and the act of breathing. When we speak, we use the breath in our lungs to give our thoughts physical form. The sounds we make are simultaneously our intentions and our life force. I speak, therefore I am. Vocal learners, like parrots and humans, are perhaps the only ones who fully comprehend the truth of this." End quote.
Yeah, I mean, the
Beautiful.
writing is impeccable. Yeah.
Really beautiful. I mean, I legitimately was stopped dead in my tracks at the sounds we make are our intentions and our life force.
Yeah.
We use the breath in our lungs to give our thoughts physical form. Our thoughts are just a bunch of flashing neurons until we speak them, and then they're out in the world. Like, I don't know, something about that is so
that
beautiful.
just hit me.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's really
The thoughts of a
beautiful.
parrot, Oops.
I know.
Really
Incredible,
beautiful. So
yeah.
the writing in the short story really got me for
Yeah.
sure. And I mentioned it earlier, and you touched on it as well. But my last thought here is that I really appreciate that the parrot is not bitter towards humanity.
Right.
It's not blaming humanity for anything. It's not blaming humanity for its extinction because it realizes that it is unintentional. Humanity doesn't realize to some extent.
Yeah.
I think there's still some culpability,
Sure.
but to some extent, humanity didn't set out
Yeah.
to fuck over the Puerto Rican parrot.
Right.
And it recognizes that nuance
Yeah.
rather than just being angry at humanity
Yeah.
for destroying its people.
Yeah, we're not at war with the parrots.
Right.
This isn't a Planet of the Parrot situation.
Right.
Where
It's not
they're-
a war on parrot terrorists or something. I guess.
Parrot terrorists. That might be the first time that phrase has been uttered.
I had that thought in my neurons, and then I physically brought it to life.
Brought it to life, yeah. Great stuff.
So I really appreciated that the
Yeah.
parrot's message is bittersweet.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think it's actually full of hope. Hope that humanity will one day recognize the incredible diversity of alien voices that are around us right here on planet Earth, and hope that one day we will fully and finally pay attention to it. I think the parrot, in some ways, feels more empathy and camaraderie with humanity than the other way around, than humans do with the parrot.
I mean, that's got to be factually correct. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly this parrot, the one in this story.
Yeah.
And, there's a line in here where the parrot even recognizes humanity's great potential.
Yeah.
Quote, "Look at Arecibo. Any species who can build such a thing must have greatness in them." End quote. So my hope is that one day we can look at the parrots and the creatures right here on planet Earth and what they've built and perhaps see them the same way this parrot sees us. See the greatness within them.
Beautifully put. Yeah, I mean, that might be a long shot. Based on our track record, it might be a while till we get there.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
But one can hope, one can dream.
One can dream.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the summary and our brief thoughts. Let's take a quick break, folks. Don't go anywhere, though. When we come back, we're getting into our sci-fi analysis and digging a bit deeper into some themes and ideas.
That's right.
And parrots.
My name is Percy Jackson. Getting in trouble is like breathing for me.
The hit series returns to Disney Plus and Hulu.
The danger the camp is under is greater than you can possibly imagine.
For the key to our survival, 3 of you must quest to the Sea of Monsters.
Let's go do the impossible.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians. New season 2 episode premiere December 10th on Disney Plus and Hulu. Learn more at disneyplus.com/what's on.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. You're ready to move your business forward, but first, you need to find the right team. Start your search with Indeed-sponsored jobs. It can help you reach qualified candidates fast, ensuring your listing is the first one they see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. See the results for yourself. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, welcome back, folks. Let's jump into our sci-fi analysis. I really love what you've got here, Abu. Why don't you kick us off here?
All right, so for the sci-fi analysis today, for this takeaway today, I wanted to explore this question. How close are we to being able to translate the language of non-human creatures on Earth? Is that a reality?
Fascinating.
Or is that still a sci-fi concept?
Yeah.
How close are we to the parrot's dream
Yeah.
that humanity will finally pay attention and listen?
Right.
I think any pet owner that you speak to will tell you they can already do this.
Right.
That they already know what their pet is saying.
Yeah, totally.
And I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about my pets.
Yes.
Right? Like, to some extent, that is true.
Yeah.
Humanity, over many thousands of years of domestication, has learned a lot of nonverbal cues and
Right.
physical communication patterns
Right.
with the animals that we keep as pets,
Yeah.
dogs and cats, etc.
Yeah, iguanas, lizards,
Exactly.
birds.
We kind of like know the basics. What?
Sorry, I
Was
just
that
gotta
a
list
joke?
out. I just gotta list out all the pets.
Okay, right. We
Snakes.
gotta be fair to all the pets. Someone out there with like a leopard geckos.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They didn't fucking say leopard gecko. I don't feel seen by this podcast.
That's a good point. Good point. All right, let's
leopard
continue.
gecko.
All right. Yeah.
For the record. But that's true, right? To some extent, like we don't speak their language,
Yeah.
but we understand them.
Right.
But I think the reality is that we are still only just interpreting
Yeah.
that communication. We're doing our best.
Yeah.
We're making educated guesses. I'm getting barked at. Is it because you're mad or you're hungry?
Right.
You know?
Both? I don't know.
It's usually both.
Yeah.
One feeding into the other. So my question is the technology we have today advanced enough or advancing toward a future where we could literally translate animal communication into human language?
Right.
So that we know exactly what that bark is saying.
Right.
From my research, I learned that the short answer is yes, actually, we're making some really impressive strides toward that goal.
Yeah.
But as with everything, there are some really big caveats and hurdles to overcome before we achieve that goal. And what's actually really interesting is that there's an annual award that's given out with like prize money called the Collar Doolittle Prize. And this is given to scientists who make significant advances in interspecies communication.
Wow.
How cool is that?
That's fascinating.
Like this is a legitimate field.
Yeah.
Where people are winning prizes and winning grants and really trying
That's
to
very
solve
cool.
this puzzle
Yeah.
of how we communicate with our fellow inhabitants here on planet Earth.
Parrots, we're trying.
Parrots!
We're trying.
We're really trying. Okay, so I wanted to share a little bit from my research and what I learned. I found some of these facts interesting. This is not an all-encompassing analysis of this field of study, but I hope this is a pretty interesting overview of what I found. AI, of course, is a technology that is arguably best suited to find language patterns, right? And to regurgitate them.
Right.
And so using it in that way has been kind of a game changer in this field. I came across this nonprofit called Earth Species Project, which is embracing AI as a tool for interspecies communication. And in fact, Earth Species Project has developed and released a model of its own called Nature LM, which it claims is, quote, the world's first large audio language model for animal sounds, end quote.
That's pretty wild.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Huh.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
How well it works and how applicable it is remains to be seen.
Interesting.
But there are teams and organizations who are sort of on the forefront of this, trying to push and utilize AI technology to advance this field.
Making some strides.
Making some serious strides.
Yeah.
I found some specific examples. There's two I want to share here. There's a team, for example, at Tel Aviv University who used machine learning to identify unique squeaks from Egyptian fruit bats. The model they used and trained was able to, quote, detect specific vocalizations and predict what sort of argument the bats were having.
I'm sorry. What? You're going to have to stop right there. What? Like they're decoding the domestic disputes of these bats? What?
I also found that incredibly funny.
That's wild.
Yeah, the squeaks and chirps the bats are making like mean different things.
Interesting.
And oftentimes, like in the article, it talks about how like it's usually either about like food, they're fighting over food or space. Like I want to sleep here, you go sleep somewhere else, bitch.
Or go sleep on the couch.
Go sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Or it is, about like mating.
Right. Naturally. Yeah.
So, it falls into some like broad categories of communication. We don't literally know the words these bats are saying.
Right.
But the AI is able to categorize the communication into broad categories. So we get a sense of what's going on in all the chirping here.
That's fascinating.
It's really, really fascinating.
Yeah.
Now, another example I wanted to share, there was a team led by University of Michigan researchers that was able to use actually a speech model trained on human language, not even trained on dog language, but it was able to use that model as a basis to identify in dogs emotion, gender, and breed purely based off of the type of bark,
That is incredibly impressive.
which is really cool.
That's incredibly impressive. I don't know how you could possibly detect gender from barks, or breed. I mean, that's fascinating.
It's fascinating. You know, I guess on some level you'd be like, bork is different from bork.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
different breeds, different sizes.
Yeah,
maybe.
fair enough. Yeah.
The impressive part of that for me is the emotion. They're able to identify, again,
Right.
broad categories,
Yeah.
but identify like, this is an angry bark.
Right.
This is a stressed bark.
Right.
This is a et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And again, I can already hear like the fellow dog owners out there being like, yeah, man, I know when my dog is angry
Yeah,
and
fair
barking.
enough. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But this technology reinforces that,
Totally.
right? Like, you don't have to guess, like, are you hungry or are you mad?
Yeah.
This model is telling me that you're actually most likely hungry.
Yeah.
That's a hungry dog.
I mean, and of course, it could be useful for people that aren't the owner of the pet.
That's right.
if you
Babysitting
can-
situations, shelters.
Yeah, if you have a fear of animals, I mean, if you could get some sort of information that this barking is totally innocent and they're happy, actually,
Yeah.
that would probably lower the temperature for you.
That's right. That's right. It can be a useful mediation tool, right?
Yes.
Again, to reduce that friction of communication.
Right.
So some interesting examples there. There's a bunch of others too. Before we started recording, you and I were chatting about decoding the sperm whale sounds.
Yeah.
And how they talk to each other.
Yeah.
That's a huge project that's also underway using artificial intelligence. Now let me flip the coin here. That's the rosy picture of the progress we're making.
Right.
There are still some huge challenges.
Yeah.
Some of which feel still kind of insurmountable. First of all, none of these advances are true one-to-one translation as I defined it earlier.
Yeah.
It is not dog goes bark, bark. My iPhone tells me I'm hungry, feed me.
Right.
And in fact, even implementing technology like AI is kind of useless without scientists spending many hours and many years carefully observing and cataloging
Right.
and interpreting the vocalizations that they track in
Right.
these animals.
Right.
And then you feed that into the AI, and then you search for larger patterns in
Right.
the data.
Right.
And it becomes a tool that helps you. It's not a tool of discovery.
Right.
The AI can't just be pointed at a whale and listen and
Yeah.
understand.
Right.
It requires a scientist who is a whale expert to tell the AI what to interpret.
Right. Produce a bunch of training data, feed it into the model.
Exactly.
et cetera.
Exactly. So it's
Right.
not sort of a silver bullet that will solve communication. Another issue here is that it's debatable whether most animals even have language, quote unquote, as we'd define it. Right. Like consistent grammar, syntax, rules of communication.
Right.
It's unclear if any animals also follow that.
Right.
Language, if you think about it, is a type of technology
Right.
that human societies over thousands of years developed to communicate
good point.
efficiently with each other.
Good point.
Do other creatures do that? Are other creatures capable of even creating that kind of technology,
Right.
the technology of speaking?
Right.
It's unclear.
Yeah.
That's a thing that we still have to explore and dig deeper on.
Yeah. Also, are
And-
there different languages between different, regions of animals?
Are there French whales versus American whales? That, right? When you
Yeah.
start thinking about it,
Totally.
you're like, oh shit,
There's a
that
lot
is
of things
complicated.
break down here.
There's
Totally.
a lot of things to break down.
Yeah.
And then I think the final thing I want to call out, this is another sort of wrinkle here, is that two things really matter when it comes to animal communication: context and nonverbal signals.
Oh, yeah.
Not all creatures communicate through sound.
Right.
They don't vocalize.
Right. Right.
Many creatures, in fact, communicate primarily through like pheromones,
Yeah. Touch.
sense,
Yeah.
touch, even reactions. Like, again, going back to the dog owner life, like, you know what it means when your dog like
Boops you.
boops you
Yeah.
or abruptly turns its back
Yeah.
on you,
Right.
or like that is the dog doesn't have to talk at you.
Right. Right.
You understand what that
Yeah.
means.
Its ears are down or its
Ears
tail's
down,
Yeah.
tail
Lots of things.
tucked.
Yeah.
A lot of signals that
Sure.
have nothing to do with
Right.
spoken language.
Right.
And so much of the animal kingdom doesn't talk like that.
Right. Right.
So there's like a huge problem of trying to interpret
Right.
language through speaking.
Yeah.
Because not all animals speak. Even if they did all speak, even if we were able to interpret that, the other issue is context. Creatures communicate based on where they are, what's happening, how they're feeling, what if there's danger, if there's not danger, if it's cold, if it's hot, if it's raining. All of those things change the way animals communicate. And so it makes it really hard to study and replicate this data. Is what I was finding time and time again in my research. Is like, you can't bring an animal into a controlled lab environment, measure everything, and teach an AI what you measured. Because the AI will then not know, like, can only understand a dog in a lab environment. Versus a dog at a dog park. Versus a dog at the groomer, at the vet. These are all dramatically different emotional states for the animal.
True.
And it's going to communicate in
different ways.
Dramatically different ways. And so even to gather the correct usable data to feed into an AI model requires extensive study of the animal in its natural habitat under many different scenarios and contexts, which, again, when you start thinking about it, becomes like a problem that balloons and continues to balloon.
Also, there are millions of animals.
It is a wildly difficult problem. You know? So there are some huge hurdles. We're making progress. But we are a long, long ways away from getting full on Google Translate translations of what our dogs and cats and leopard geckos are saying. You know? I think for the time being, some of the breakthroughs we might see in the short term will likely be more interpretations of emotional states or in the moment intent from an animal, right? What is my cat feeling? What does my cat want? Those are things that I think we are making significant breakthroughs in. And AI technology is really helping researchers more accurately answer those questions, right? Are you barking because you're angry or happy? Is that whale asking for food, or is it asking if I'm DTF? A lot of my research made it clear that most animals are talking about fuck.
That's the question. Do we want to hear what they're saying? Oh, these filthy animals.
Their minds constantly in the gutter, to be clear. They're always like,
perverts.
Are we fucking right now? Right here?
It's 4 a.m. Go back to sleep.
Oh my God. Sperm whales, Jesus Christ. So I think here's an easy way to think about this, I think. At the end of the day, even among humans, even among you and I sitting across the table from each other right now, there are communication gaps, right? There will be moments where we like miss eye contact and not see each other. We won't pick up on a physical cue the other is making. Those are small gaps. But we are the same species and we are speaking the same language in the same country in the same studio. Imagine that, but now with animals. That gap is massive. There are many, many hurdles and hoops to jump through. And in some ways, it feels insurmountable to fully close that gap because even humans cannot fully 100% close that gap with each other. But I think the progress we're making, and thanks to advanced technology like AI, we are shortening that gap. And to me, even the shortening of that gap is exciting. And so I'm walking away from this research that I did and what I learned from it quite hopeful for the future of interspecies human and animal communication.
That's a wonderful note to end on. I love that idea that someday we will be able to communicate with the plenitude of animals on this planet, let alone obviously our domesticated pets. It is like there's something, I don't know, really exciting and just like inspiring about just the progress that we've made. Like I was totally unaware of how much progress we actually have made, even if it is, even if there's a long road, ahead of us, it's really, I don't know. It's something about that is like really kind of warming and just like exciting to know that
I agree.
Suddenly, I don't feel like we're totally alone, but like we're a little bit less lonely on this planet or in this universe,
Right.
So I love that. I love that takeaway. The thing that I like when I like reflect on the story overall, and just like that analysis, what I start to wonder is, how much appetite we have for solving those outstanding problems. Because,
Okay.
given the nature of the world we live in right now, hyper capitalistic.
Yes.
We everything revolves around the almighty dollar or euro or whatever your currency is.
Right.
And it feels like solving some of these problems will cost billions,
Yes.
trillions of dollars, decades of research and work.
Oh boy.
And you wonder why, I don't know. I mean, you start to kind of you start to kind of question whether it is feasible for us to be for us to actually close that gap, I think.
Yeah.
It's an interesting question, I think.
Yeah. It makes you wonder how many people want to know what the bats are talking about.
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
Like, I think the initial selling point, the capitalist selling point, is
Yeah.
really domesticated animals. That's where you
Yes.
start.
Yes.
That's where you get people on board with this
Totally.
type of research.
Yeah.
That's where you find funding.
Yeah.
And then you make the leap to non-domesticated creatures
Right.
on planet Earth.
Yeah.
It does make me wonder, though, if we continue to advance in this field of interspecies communication, does it create more vegetarians in the world?
I mean,
Is it weird to eat something that you can like talk to now?
I mean, I can only speak for myself. I will say, and I was talking about this ahead of this recording, but I'm increasingly eating a lot more tofu these days, and just kind of like vegetarian meals.
Yeah.
And it's largely driven by kind of ethical reasons. I'm
Yeah.
starting to feel a little queasy about eating animals.
Right.
Just kind of recognizing their, I don't know, like that is life, and it's there's like a sci-fi version of this where you think if aliens came and descended on our planet and
Yeah.
just treated us like cattle, like there's obviously that kind of maybe somewhat thin argument, but yeah, I mean, I do think, if suddenly we had to grapple in a very real way that there are beings that communicate amongst themselves and have their own form of consciousness and, mythos and culture and
Yeah.
society building,
Ooh.
and we could actually understand some of that, I do have to believe that
Gosh.
it would be a lot tougher to be, to be a butcher when the animal is begging you not to
Right.
kill it,
Gosh. Ugh. God, that makes me feel so icky.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
I tend to think, yeah, I hope we, I
Yeah.
would hope that more people became vegetarians rather than
At the
like
same
embracing the
time-
cruelty, I guess.
I've been really craving some Dave's hot chicken. I don't know if you want to go after this, but
That's the problem. They're also very tasty. Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping lab grown meat actually succeeds and doesn't end up wiping out the
that could
species
be an
because it's
alternative.
like some kind of weird viruses in it. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
that's
just never
true.
know these
You
things,
never know.
But yeah, in any case,
Yeah.
fascinating discussion today.
yeah, I think again a story that on the surface is very simple,
Yeah.
with a simple message.
Totally.
When you begin to dig deeper and ask some big questions around it, there's a lot to talk about here.
Ted Chiang, you've done it again.
Done it again, sir. All thanks to a parrot.
That's right.
All right, folks, that wraps up our discussion of The Great Silence. We're nearing the end of this collection.
Say it ain't so.
It is actually so. I know you said not.
Explicit.
You said not to say it, but I had to say it. Folks, we have homework for you. For the next episode, make sure that you've read the next short story in this collection. This one is titled Omphalos. I'm going to go ahead and preface this by saying I fucking love this one. This is a top 3 for me, so I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're wondering when the readings are due, what books we're going to be talking about this season, you can find the link to our entire season schedule in the show notes below. So check that out. Get those holds in at the library in time and read along with us.
That's right. Well, friends, the extinction of this podcast doesn't just mean the loss of 2 nerdy sci-fi lovers. Is that sci-fi comma lovers? Or sci-fi lovers. It does, however, mean the silencing of our voices. Help us avoid that fate by leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And be sure to check out the other shows on the Lore Party Podcast Network at loreparty.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at lore_party. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, you be good. We love you.
We love you.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here, wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.